I think you won a raffle basket and you didn't even care because you were tongue deep in that dude.
Tongue deep.
You were like, I don't care about that freaking movie basket, okay?
Give me this guy's tongue.
Hey, everybody. It's time for another episode of the Fire Chronicles, and today's episode will not disappoint, let me tell you. My guest today is Svetlana. If you want to say hey to everybody.
What it is.
What was that? What? Wait a second.
Hi. Hey, y'all. How do you do?
That's also bad. That's very bad.
Hi.
Thank you.
Svetlana here.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Please. Okay. We've basically, everyone stopped listening now after you saying hello.
Sorry, guys. Come back to us.
Come back to us. So today is our Hot Girl Summer episode. Okay. And I know this is like the trendy buzzword, and I don't even know if you would describe that that's how you're living your summer. She's shaking her head. No. Do you know what Hot Girl Summer means?
So I didn't. Until one of the guys that I went on a couple dates with and slept with, he's actually the one that called it Hot Girl Summer. I slept with him a couple times and he wanted to sleep with each other exclusively, and I was like, I kind of like want to see what else is out there. And he was pretty much just like, okay, fine, like you do you have your Hot Girl Summer. So then I was like, okay, like I can call it that. I'm gonna call it that.
So you thought this dude thought of it?
Yeah, no,
because you never heard of it.
No, I've heard of Hot Girl Summer. I've seen it on like TikToks and stuff. Right. I just know what it meant. I thought it just meant like living your best life.
Yeah, that's
not giving a shit what anybody. Not caring what anybody says. You know, like go out in a bikini. Who cares what you think about your body? You know what I mean? Like body positivity. Yeah, girl power, whatever. That's kind of how I thought of it. Yeah, until this guy said Hot Girl Summer, referring to like go
dating a bunch of dudes guys, if you want,
whatever,
sleeping around, whatever. Yeah. All right. So before we get into your Hot Girl Summer and what you've been doing over these last couple months, I kind of want to give our listeners like a brief history on your love life.
Okay.
So since I know a little bit about it, I'm going to take it way back. Okay. Let's go back to high school. Okay. Your first relationship. We'll call him Jay.
Okay.
How would you describe that?
So I was young. So I was with Jay from the time I was 16 to about 21, 22. That was tumultuous. I don't know. He was manipulative. He was not, and we were like off and on. When we were off, like he would talk to other girls and like do whatever he wanted, but he was still like kind of controlling me and like would get pissed off and stuff if like he knew I was talking to other guys, whatever.
Double standard.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Definitely had control issues. Had like really bad social anxiety, which I think contributed to some of it because like he couldn't control his own self. That I think he thought he had to control other people, like control me. I lost a lot of my friends because he didn't want me hanging out with anyone. Eventually I guess gathered the courage or whatever to break up with him. He had like called my dad and asked for my hand in marriage and like other crazy shit. Yeah. Like,
after you broke up with him. So he was like grasping at straws.
Yeah. Told me he bought me an engagement ring and then threw it in the creek and like bullshit. Come on.
Right.
Jay. No, you didn't.
Right.
So yeah, that was probably a very bad first relationship. Like for me, like my first serious relationship to experience.
Yeah.
And that I'm sure it, maybe set the tone for my next relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the sense of like, I'm not going to put up with anything anymore. Like, I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. Doesn't matter about your feelings is how I was like in my next relationship, which obviously isn't okay either. But I was just
you went from one extreme to the next.
Yeah.
And when you broke up with Jay, how long, you were 21, 22, how long were you single until you got into your next serious relationship?
About a year and a half, I would say, until I met my next boyfriend.
Which was who?
The person I wound up marrying.
Okay.
Mark.
Yeah, we'll call him Mark. Okay. And you knew Mark before you guys like became a thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I don't want to give too many details, but yeah, I knew him slightly from like childhood, I guess. I could say. Yeah, but still didn't really know him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the way I first was introduced to him
Oh God.
was at a
Charity event.
Yes. And I walk into said charity event and I see Svetlana and Mark making out. And I was like, oh, I guess Svetlana found a new boyfriend. And she did.
And we were surrounded by other family members.
Yes, all of our family members are there.
Yep.
Aunts,
Lots
uncles,
family. Yep.
cousins.
I mean, not like literally all of them, but
Mother Teresa was there. She left by that point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She had an emergency.
Yeah. So that was nor the time nor the place, but it's okay. Listen, when you get the urge to make out, sometimes you just go for it.
And it was my birthday. I also want to preface that.
Oh, right.
It's
it
my
was
birthday.
her birthday.
I can make out with who I want to.
Right.
That's a thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Listen, nobody stopped you.
In front of who I want to. Nobody stopped me. No one said a word.
No, we didn't. I think you won a raffle basket and you didn't even care. Because you were tongue deep in that dude.
Tongue deep.
You were like, I don't care about that freaking movie basket, okay?
Give me this guy's tongue.
Thank you.
All over.
You're like, I already won the best basket here, and it's Mark.
Yep.
And now, no, not so much.
So that didn't work out.
So let's just give a brief summary on what happened with Mark. Because
how brief. It's hard.
Well, I know.
Brief.
It's hard. Okay, we don't have to make it that brief. I just didn't know how much you wanted to go into it.
Yeah, so we got married.
Before that, let's backpedal a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to jog your memory here. Do you remember, because at the time when your wedding was approaching, okay, I invited you and Mark over because that's when I was going through things in my marriage. I think Mike and I had separated at that point. And I said, hey, I just want to talk to you guys before you actually get married. Being someone who's been married for a really long time, you got to make these promises to each other that you're going to, if problems are going to arise, you're going to work through it. You're going to make this is a serious commitment, and just kind of had that heart to heart with you guys.
Yep. Yeah. I remember,
so, and then what came of that? Nothing
came of it. I believe you told us to write each other letters, right? That's what you said. Write each other letters to read when things are bad. Right. And that never came to fruition. We just did not do that. Right. And I think at that point in time in our relationship, so hindsight's 2020. Yeah. This whole time I'm not like, oh my God, I hate this guy. I don't want to marry him. You know what I mean? It was never like that. I think you kept saying he's a good guy. Yes, that was, so it was kind of just because somebody's a good guy doesn't mean you should freaking marry him. Right. You knew there were enough things that you guys didn't see eye to eye on. You didn't have similar life goals, which I felt was like a big thing. Yeah. He was fine with being where he was at. He didn't have dreams and aspirations, and you wanted better for yourself, and you were going to school. But so you guys got married. Right. You did. And then what happened? And then less than a year later, we split up. How long was it? So we got married in September, and in July, and Mark and I were also we only had like 2 sessions of couples count, like marriage counseling or whatever. But we were in marriage counseling at that time. My therapist had recommended 6 months, like spend time apart. And I remember being like, that's a really long time. Like, what? Right. And then I think she was like, okay, like try 3 months or whatever, or maybe 1 month. I don't know. So when we went to a different counselor, when we went to see her together, Mark brought that up with the counselor, and the counselor like agreed with what my therapist had said. Mm-hmm. And then Mark got like pissed off. He was mad. He's like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, how can I just not see my wife for a month or 3, whatever, whatever the time period was. I know. I feel like that's like solid advice. I mean, I'm no therapist, but like time apart. Time apart is going to tell you for sure whether you miss this dude, he misses you, or if you're like, I feel so much better now that he's not in my life, or you know what I mean? Right. Whatever your feelings are. But so you split up then. Yeah. So that was in July that I went on a solo road trip, because like this was after, so like don't see Mark for a month, whatever. So I went on a solo road trip to Charleston, South Carolina, and driving there, like on my way there, I've never felt so free. Like, or I like to use the word elated, because I've rarely felt that way in my life. I was just like, holy shit. Like I felt this huge weight was lifted off my chest. I don't think it was necessarily just because of, you know, the separation from Mark. I think it was also just because, like, I'm traveling solo and, you know, and I'm, you know, doing this big thing that, you know, I might have had too much anxiety, like, to do in the past or whatever. Like, I'm driving 8 hours, you know, to this place that I got an Airbnb and, you know, going somewhere new by myself. And I think also just like the fact that I was by myself, because I can be a people pleaser and worry too much about what everyone else wants to do and if everyone else is happy.
Right.
So just knowing that I was going somewhere like by myself was really cool. But yeah, just this huge weight was lifted off of my shoulders. And it was like torrential downpour on my way. I don't know the name of the highway, but like 3-4 lane highway.
Right.
People were doing like 15-20 miles an hour because of how bad it was pouring. And I'm like listening to Tourist B.I.G. like I'm like on cloud freaking 9.
Yeah. Just
like the best feeling in the world. Like I wish I could feel like that more often. But pretty much what became of everything was just that I did not miss him. I realized I didn't want to be with him. I realized I, you know, shouldn't have married him because of our differences. And like, I mean, hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
You know, looking back, like I used to like cursing him under my breath all the time, you know, like while I'm like reorganizing the dishwasher, or like he did something, like he didn't flush the toilet, or like I hated hearing him pee.
Every little
like,
thing bothered you.
Like, yeah. I mean, at one point too, like we were content, you know what I mean? But I couldn't tell you like the last time that I was like ecstatic. And at our wedding, when we were dancing to our song and he was like looking in my eyes and like singing along to it. She just yawned, everybody. Just yawned in the middle of this intense story. Are you all yawning? But I remember him like looking in my eyes and singing our song to me, and me just like having like disgust. I almost did.
You was like disgust.
Yeah, like
on your
like
wedding
contempt.
day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
It's kind of making
So
my
bad.
skin crawl just to think of you like being in that position. And I think I've been in that position only with dudes I've been on dates with.
Right.
So I can't imagine you just married
My
this dude
husband,
and you're like, I want to deck you. Don't freaking sing to me on your wedding day. But anyway, you got rid of that dude. Thank God.
Got rid of that guy.
He's gone. Okay.
Super gone.
But now he's got a kid and he's probably
he does.
happy.
Yes. I really think everything happens for a reason. Yeah. I think he met his soulmate. The chick that he's with now is so much like him.
But he smashed your ring. Remember when he did that?
Oh, yeah.
She left the ring for him on the kitchen table, left him a note.
Yes.
And then he took a hammer to it.
Yeah.
And did he send you pictures?
No, he left it in our apartment because he had moved out. He got his own place and he left it there. Like our pictures were like strewn about or maybe ripped up, and then like the smashed ring. He kept the moissanite though, which I don't really think is worth anything. Like he kept because I didn't have a diamond. I had a moissanite. That's what I wanted.
So he took that out of the ring.
Yes, like after he smashed it, like I don't know if he thought he was gonna get money for it. I really don't know. I can't imagine it'd be worth much.
Right.
But
I would love to see video footage of him bringing that stone to like a pawn shop or something.
I mean, it was moissanite. Like he knows it's not. I don't know how much that
like-
ring was worth. Not that it matters. I
Right.
don't care, but I think
It
was like
wasn't a
$4.50.
diamond.
Right.
Like,
But even diamonds,
down.
I mean, lose their value like as soon as you buy them.
Right. Okay. So
Anyway,
after him, you dated a bunch of other dudes.
Yeah.
So you come upon this instance, this part in your life where you're single again.
yes.
And did you make a conscious decision to be like, I'm not getting into another relationship. I just want to date around, hook up, whatever the heck you want to call it.
Yes. I did, but I don't love talking to multiple people at a time. Like it can be overwhelming.
First of all,
and
it's
I
a
feel
lot
bad.
of freaking work.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
No, ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. So like I was kind of like, well, yes, if I meet someone that I like, you know, but that's what I've done in the past too, you know, like, and it didn't work out. So like, all right, like I'm like, okay, I need to date people for longer before anything becomes exclusive.
Before you say no to any other guy you might come across.
Right.
Stop swiping, delete the app, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was on Hinge and Bumble at first, and I did meet a guy who was like 40 and had a kid, like, you know, like
And you are how old?
part-time 35.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, like let me try meeting some older guys.
Right.
And we went on a date Okay, well, so we went on 2 dates. We didn't hook up the first date. We went on 2 dates. After the second date, we did sleep together. Worst kisser ever.
You didn't tell me that.
Almost second. Like my first
Why?
worst kiss was probably like my first French kiss, and when I was 13, because it was so like wet and sloppy and fast.
Oh Lord, bad.
But this
all bad
guy,
characteristics.
4-year-old, who's super like he's like sexy. He's like a musician. Just lots of good things about him. But the kissing, holy God, it was just, I don't know, forceful and really fast, like so fast. So much tongue, so fast. Very fast tongue.
Slow it down, buddy.
Right? So that was a little off-putting.
Yeah.
But the rest of the night was very good.
Okay.
He was very in tune, you know, with what I wanted, like asked me what I wanted and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. And he called oral FaceTime, which I thought was cute. I like that.
What?
Right?
What do you mean?
You like it or you don't?
I don't. That is weird.
He asked me what I wanted, because I think he was saying that like before I might like finish, like, is there anything you want me to do to you, pretty much? And he's like, do you want more FaceTime?
And you knew what he meant? Or did you have to ask
I
him?
assumed. What else would that mean?
I would think if a guy
get on the
said
phone
to
with me
me,
and
do you want
FaceTime
more
mom?
FaceTime? He would think that I like wanted him to come up close and we could like talk more.
You are a little more vanilla.
No. Excuse
you're not vanilla?
me.
You're not vanilla?
We're
Tell
not.
me
This
more
episode
about
is
this.
not about me. I take back saying no. I take back everything I just said. Okay, back on to you.
I knew what he meant by FaceTime, though.
How?
I don't know.
I'm gonna take a poll.
Please do.
On the story, Sydney. Let's post this on the story. Okay, if you are in bed with a guy and he asks you if you want more FaceTime, what does that mean? And I cannot wait to hear what people say.
I'm also very curious about this.
Yes, thank you. All right, carry on with your weird kisser dude.
Okay. So, I was really into him after that night. Like, and I thought we really connected. I thought we had like a lot in common, whatever. And like, in our first date too, like we spent like 3 hours like talking after dinner and whatever. I definitely thought we were on the same page. Now, prior to us sleeping together, via text, like I had let it known, like, I'm DTF, you know, pretty much. So that was thrown out there.
How early on? Do you have that in your profile?
No, I don't, because I don't want a bunch of creeps just trying to get laid.
Oh, okay.
But I oftentimes will, when I'm just like in the talking stages, like bring up sex and what I'm into, because there's been relationships in the past, not just with my ex-husband, but with another previous boyfriend that we just weren't on the same page. Like, there's more vanilla. I like more Rocky Road.
Monkeys.
So monkeys.
Don't you bring monkeys in the bedroom often?
Was that the other Svetlana?
Yeah. Oh, that's our next guest. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's not her. Not her.
I don't know why I started with this guy.
So
I guess because
you say you're DTF. Okay.
Yes, right.
Or you'll just bring
not
up
in
sex.
those words.
Yeah, you won't say
like, it
DTF.
kind of like got brought up in like a nonchalant way, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, but also you're saying like your other boyfriends were vanilla and you don't want to mess around with any vanilla dudes because you're not. So how do you tell them when you're just texting that you are a Rocky Road kind of chick?
That doesn't come up with all guys, but pretty much there was like a joke or whatever made about threesomes, and he made it seem like he had been in one, and I was like, oh, like, you're not as innocent as I thought you were. And he was like, I'm innocent when it comes to some things, but not others, with like that smirk emoji.
Oh, yeah, the little.
So like, okay, all right, okay. This guy knows what's up. So, yeah. Anyway, so after this, I was really into him. I was like, okay, like this, you know, maybe this will be something.
First dude you
I
dated.
know. Okay. I don't know if it was the first one, but regardless, one of the first.
Okay.
Yes. So like, I got like way too into him. But then I was like, okay, I realized that my feelings are increasing, so I need to ask. I wanted to know if he was sleeping with other people.
Right.
Maybe that was too much to ask, like from the get-go, like right after we slept together. But I don't think that's a bad thing to ask if someone.
If you want to know,
yeah,
this is my theory. If you want to know and it's bothering you and it's on your mind, if they get upset or offended or put off, then they weren't the dude for you anyway.
Yes, right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree. So I asked him that, and he was like, I'm not currently sleeping with anyone else, but like I do have other dates lined up, so like there is that possibility, you know.
Right.
Which was like, okay, like cool, yeah, whatever. And then because I had met him on Hinge, because on Bumble oftentimes it'll tell you like what they're looking for. Like if they are looking for something casual or a relationship or whatever.
Right.
And Hinge doesn't have anything like that. So I was like, oh, I'm like, are you looking for a relationship or just hookups or like just a hookup? And I think, again, this guy was very, very sweet. And like he sent me like a very long message to that because I think he thought that I was asking with me. Are you looking for a relationship with me or are you trying to hook up? When I really just meant in general.
Right. What are you looking for? Right.
Yeah. And essentially, long story short, he just said like the chemistry isn't there. It's like I was pretty bummed, but I was like, whatever. It's fine. It's like I've got other dates lined up.
Yeah. On to the next.
So before him or maybe during him, I don't remember.
During him, like while he was there in the bed with you.
Yeah, I was texting other guys.
All
no,
right.
I'm kidding. Around the same time. I think I'd had a couple drinks when I was out with a friend, and then I came home and then maybe had another drink, and I was swiping. Drunk swiping is great. And I had my first, I think so. Well, I had my first booty call. Like I was the one to booty call. Like I literally sent like a "you up" text
to this dude that you just swiped on
to a different guy. Maybe the night before.
Okay.
And so maybe we had talked like a little bit, but he was somewhat local. It was just like 11:30, 12 at night.
Right.
And I was just like, hey, like, are you up? And he was like, I was asleep. He's like, but I just rolled over and looked at my phone and saw this. Like, what's up? I was like, you want to come over? Or hey.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, sure. I was like, you can bring a 6-pack? He's like, I have some beers in my fridge I can bring. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Like, send me your address.
And it was the first time you met him in person? It was the
first time I met him in person.
Okay.
Yes.
And he came right to your house?
Came right to my apartment, yes.
And you're not
in
worried
hindsight,
about
that
him?
could have been obviously dumb.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't encourage that.
Correct. I don't either. Disclaimer. This isn't an advice podcast. This episode is not an advice episode.
It's not.
FYI.
It's not do what we do.
Please don't. Be safe. I'm safe sometimes. So yeah. But anyway, so he came over. We like played a couple games. Like a couple like card games or like get to know each other's like asking like questions and stuff like that. I know. Was that weird? Stacey's making a face.
You're playing card games with this dude.
Not a card game.
That you
I'm not just gonna be like, come in bed with me. There has to be somewhat of a, hey, what's your name?
Okay. All right. So you played card games.
Yeah, we played, I don't know, maybe for like 20 minutes. I don't know.
You need a very brief interlude.
Yes, exactly.
It's not like how you see on TV shows when it's a booty call and they just show up and
up against the wall and
just get right down to business. Yeah, that's right not you. Business. You play cards first. Yes.
A little get to know you.
Okay.
Got to warm them up first.
All right, I got you.
We'll go fish. Some Svetlana trivia.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So then
we, I don't know how we kissed, and then I went to go down on him, and he's like, "Hold on, I don't last long."
What?
And I'm like, "He's okay."
Oh my God! I don't know literally put it all out there.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't know. I was like, that's fine. I'm like, I'd rather you not last long than last too long. I'm like, I didn't know.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Because I don't want him to be embarrassed.
Right.
Like, I mean, shit happens, whatever. And I think it had also maybe been a while for him. I don't know.
But he didn't preface it with that, so I feel like this is just how he is.
Well, yes, and
he's like,
with my experiences after that, yes, that is how he is.
Okay.
Yes.
There were
it's my first of 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went into the bedroom. I got some FaceTime.
Oh, geez. Here we go again. All right.
And then we had sex for 2 minutes.
Was it literally 2 minutes?
Probably. I had been drinking, but probably.
Wow.
Yes. And I did not climax. I don't know.
Why did you see him again?
Because I was like, okay, maybe it's the first time. Like, I don't know. And he was cute and he was local. So that was nice.
The proximity.
Yes. To have like a friends with benefits. Because that is what we had discussed then. Because he was like, what are you looking for? I was like, nothing serious, whatever.
Right.
It's cool to just like hang out with someone that's like, seems like,
nice
that's sweet.
Guy.
Yeah, funny, whatever. I mean, not really a lot of either of those things.
What do you mean?
He wasn't. No, I mean, not that he was like a jerk, but so
he wasn't nice.
The second time, and no, not that he wasn't nice. Oh. He just wasn't like, I don't know, anything to write home about. He wasn't someone that I would have a relationship with, which I guess in a sense is good if you're just sleeping with them. That way you
Yes.
don't like catch feelings.
Right.
But still, being a woman, if you're looking to have just like a sexual relationship with someone, you can easily find someone that is actually cool to hang around with too.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So why limit yourself to a guy that's kind of like lame, I guess, or like even
Right.
slightly mean? Like the reason we stopped was because the last time we hooked up. So we hooked up 3 times. Like I went over like once before, before going to work, because it was kind of on my way, and he cooked for me, and like we had like, it was like good vibes or whatever,
What do you
I was
make?
like, this spaghetti,
Oh, lame.
homemade. I'm just kidding. No, it's
yeah,
not.
please. Was it Mario Batali? Is that who you hooked up with?
Whatever, I don't really care. It was
He's
food.
local.
Yeah. So like that time was fun. Like we had fun. Except he didn't really laugh at my jokes. I have a big thing when guys don't laugh at my jokes. Like,
Oh,
'cause
he's out.
I know. Yeah. I'm not like have a big head here, but like I know I can be funny. Like,
Right.
come on, give me a few chuckles.
Did you just
You know?
hear that last joke? Is your hearing okay? What's happening here? Did you call him out on it or what?
No, I didn't. Because
Why aren't you
besides that,
laughing?
like our vibe was like pretty cool. But then the last time we hooked up, he was trying to be like more aggressive, and like sometimes like can be sexy, but not
Okay.
if that's just like not who you are. Like it was kind of awkward the way he was like trying to be like jacking me up against the wall. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like this is you, buddy. Like it was weird. It was not a
Don't be
turn
something
on.
you're not.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean maybe he is that way. I feel like he is probably also more vanilla, so I think he maybe was doing that for me, but it was
You
just kind
thought
of
that
awkward.
you would like it.
Yeah,
Probably.
because we had
you
talked via text like about
Yeah.
some things. Yeah, we hooked up. He made dinner again. We had tacos or nachos or something.
Okay.
Yeah, gourmet chef over here. No, I don't care. I'm not a cook either. I'm not judging him for that.
No, I mean he cooked for you. That's sweet.
Yeah. But it was the vibe was very off that day. And like after we had sex, I was like on top, and he was just like, okay, like get off. Like maybe not those exact words, but it was not a nice a nice way of him being like, okay, like let me get up, Svetlana, so I can, clean up whatever. Like it was just like
I
it was
don't
very
like this
abrasive
dude at
Yeah,
all.
It was abrasive, and I was like, okay, like what the hell? And that's when I was like, I don't need to be hooking up with some guy
Are
that's
you
gonna say
kidding
shit like
me?
that. Yeah. So I never saw him again after that.
Thank God.
Yeah. But only recently did I tell him why, because he said that like he had texted me, like just said that he like that he missed me or something. To which I was like, oh, like sorry, like I have another friends with benefits, and he's pretty much just like, can I ask like why I was kind of like replaced? And I was like, he's like, is the sex better like with this new guy? And I was like not necessarily. I mean, yes, but I didn't want to be mean. But I was like, no, and I just told him like the last time we hung out, like I just thought like the vibe was off, and like he told me to like get off you.
Right.
And yeah, I was like, and that was like shitty. And he was pretty much like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Like I can make it up to you. To which I was like, no, not interested. I have another like friend with benefits right now.
Yeah.
And he had texted me that night at like 1 a.m. and was like, are you awake?
Dude,
So when I woke up,
told you.
I know. When I woke up, I was like, why are you texting me at 1 a.m.?
Right.
He's like, I just like miss, like, I just wanted cuddling and blah, blah. Like, I wasn't even like looking for sex. I was like, I don't think I responded to that, because I'm like, dude, I like literally I already said no. So that's the story on that guy.
So that ended, and then you did indeed already have a new friends with benefits at that point.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But in
between,
addition, yes. You've
And-
been seeing some other dudes.
Yes.
One-timers.
Another 2-timers. Both of them were
Oh.
2-timers. One was, okay, this is my biggest not hoe moment, because that has a negative connotation, says Stacy.
Yes, I do say that.
This was a very sex positive day.
Yes.
I had 2 dates, one for breakfast and one for dinner.
Oh.
So my breakfast date was another 4-year-old guy.
40-year-old.
Yeah, 40.
Just want to clarify that because you said it very quickly. It sounded like you said 4-year-old.
4-year-olds.
So 40.
Not my
4D.
thing.
4D. Okay, go ahead.
We had really good like connection via text. Like he's like really funny, whatever. We went and got breakfast, and then we went and got stuff to make mimosas and went back to my apartment. Now, prior to this, we had some sexual conversations, so I knew he was in my boat
Right.
regarding ice cream flavors.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was like, okay, like cool, this could be fun. And I do always preface, if I have these conversations with guys, I always preface it too by saying, just an FYI, we might not actually hook up. Like, even though we're talking about sex and what we're into, like, it's not a guarantee, because people can be very different, like in person
100%.
as opposed to text.
Yeah.
For better and worse, honestly.
Right. Right.
But so yeah, so I did preface it with that. So yeah, after we got breakfast, I was like on the fence about him a little bit after breakfast. Not really for any specific reason. I guess maybe the conversation wasn't flowing as much as I'd like it to, but he was still funny and he laughed at my jokes. That's the way into my pants, guys. Just laugh at my jokes,
okay.
and you're getting some. So we went and got stuff to make mimosas. Went back to my apartment and played a game
Again.
because that's my MO.
Right. She likes games.
We like games. Yeah, and then we hooked up, and the sex was surprisingly good. I don't really know. I guess because he just knew how to use his penis. Where I feel like, I know that seems weird.
Okay.
But like, I think in previous relationships or previous, sex, whatever, like the guy's just like, they're having sex with you to get off, not necessarily like using their penis to get you off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So I think that was kind of like the first time he was definitely focused on me, what I mean? And like, he knew what he was doing, put it that way. So that was fun. And then he had to leave to like go pick up his daughter.
Right.
Because he had, joint custody. So then I got a shower and got ready for my next date.
Okay.
Which was dinner.
Okay.
This guy was not, again, super, super funny, like via text, like really great back and forth, like banter and stuff. Look-wise, not like super my type. Not that I really have a type. Because I also want to say this too, like for the dates and stuff that I've been on, like I've found most men like sexy, even though they're totally different.
Yes.
I know we were talking about this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is super interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because I've deleted all the apps on my phone. Okay. So I'm over it, but I will watch you swipe. I've watched you swipe before. Because I've made jokes that I think you swipe right on everybody. And you're like, I do not, look at me. We will do this together.
Right.
Because you're like, yeah, I'm meeting all these dudes. I'm like, I can't even find one guy attractive enough to where I'm going to go on a date with you. And you're like, I feel like I'm finding all these guys that I find something sexy about every one of them.
Yes.
And what do you feel like you've always been that way?
No.
Okay.
No, but I also I haven't been on this many dates either. And like these are guys too that I've just been on dates with, like where we didn't hook up. I would totally hook up with him because like there's something sexy about him, whether it's his personality or like his drive. Like, because I did go on one date with a guy who is unlike most men that I've been with, just where he has, it's not about money, but he has money and he has drive and he has all these goals and ambitions, and that to me was really sexy.
Right.
So it's like, a lot of guys have been, not that they're losers by any means, but just like blue collar, working boys, which I think are sexy.
Right.
But yeah, this guy was just different, and like he was shorter. I'm not shorter than me, but like he wasn't. My type used to be tall, skinny white boys. Like, and now I'm just like, if I just find you somewhat attractive, or especially like if your profile's funny, I'll swipe right. But yeah, this guy was like, not very tall, more hairy than.
Is this the dude I saw a picture of?
I don't know who you saw a picture of.
Well, remember when we were out and somebody sent
No,
you...
not him.
Oh,
not
okay.
him.
So you've dated many hairy dudes. That's what we're coming to the conclusion of.
Yes.
So being hairy isn't a turnoff to you.
It's not.
Okay.
If it's full, complete coating of every inch of the body hair.
Yeah.
Where you're like shedding.
No one can get. Yeah. We don't want a shedder.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a freaking golden retriever.
Right. Yeah. That's
My
that's
God.
so much. Yeah. That not so much.
Okay.
But yeah. So this guy, I'm like, this guy that I went on a date with, that's like not, like the really like ambitious guy. I was just like, oh my God, like this guy can get it.
So you're noticing because you've been dating more. Whereas before you thought, if they're tall and skinny, skater boy type, that's what I'm into. And now you're like, I'm going to literally date dudes who are 5'4", or 6'4",
totally different than me. Yeah.
Any body type, whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you're finding that because you're doing that, and you're getting to know them as a person on these dates,
Right.
not necessarily hooking up with them, that you're like, I'm finding all these things attractive about them.
It's not always about the personality, though, I will say. Because, like, there was one guy who was actually shorter than me. I didn't realize that when we, like, made plans to go out. But he, personality-wise, I mean, he talked way too much, kind of, like, went on rants, and I couldn't even follow half of what he was saying. But he was, like, I could tell he was, like, really fit. And, like, oh, like, forearms, like, good, strong forearms with, like, veins, I'll do something to me. Had the breakfast date, hooked up with that guy.
Yeah.
Showered, got ready, had my dinner date. Like I said, like we had really good chemistry via text. When he first got there, I was like, okay, like not super my type, physically. And I feel like the conversation got off a little bit to a rocky start.
Why?
I guess it just like wasn't as free flowing. I don't know. Like I guess via text, it's so much easier to be
anything like tension wise,
no.
It just wasn't picking up.
Yeah. I was like, okay, like, oh, this might be, Then of course, like we each had a margarita. You know what I mean? So like that helps,
You took your top off.
Yeah.
And
yes.
the bartender said, "Excuse me, miss.
Can you also take off your bra?"
Right.
So I did.
A fun night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Threesome. Okay, no. So then he was like, oh, like, let's go, like, after, like, we were finished eating, he's like, oh, like, let's, like, I don't really want this to end. Oh, also, mind you, he came from, like, an hour and 20 minutes, like, hour and a half away.
Oh,
like, he came to me.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, and he was far away. So.
See, I hate that.
Yeah.
Because then you feel, like, committed. You're like, I gotta stay here.
So we went to a second location, and I was starting to feel better about it. I was like, okay, like, he's really cute, like, or, like, he's cuter than I thought, and he did a couple cute things, like, while we were there. We went mini golfing. Yeah, so like things were heating up in the sense of not like sexual tension, but just like, okay, like, yeah, like I can be into this guy. And then we got ice cream, and then after we ate that, then he's like, oh, I don't want this to be over. Again.
And you're like, dude, we already did the mini golf.
We're at a second location. But I was like, okay, like let's go to a bar, near my place. Like we can go, you can park your car near my apartment, and we'll just take one car to the bar that's near my place. So we were there, and of course had more drinks, and got along even better. Go figure.
Right.
And at one point, he's like trying to make plans with us for like a month or two in advance. Like almost like bought tickets to this thing.
Right.
And I didn't know, even though I was a little tipsy at that point.
Right.
I still conscientious.
Right.
And I was like, how do I say no, dude? Like,
it's our first date.
Yeah, without like being a jerk, but like, yeah, he didn't buy the tickets, thankfully. But so yeah, then we went back to my place and hooked up, and so he is separated, like on his way to divorce. He is also on very different wavelengths from his wife in regards to sex. She was like she's Catholic. Definitely more vanilla, like didn't even like him to masturbate, which I think is just a sin. Like that's just, come on. Like that's so, I don't understand that. I never will. But he was into butt stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm all for it. Like I don't kink shame. I'm not necessarily that I would do everything you want to do, but like, all right, guy wants something in his butt, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I like toys and stuff. So, I got out one of my dildos, and the rest is history. I don't know how like dirty I should be getting.
Out. Okay. And this was
first night hooking up.
Yeah, first night
hooking up. Yep, in my bed. But like that, it makes me feel good that like I can help someone, like, I don't want to say live out their fantasies. I mean, he had his own like prostate stimulating toys at home that he would use by himself. Okay. But he also had told me like his wife had found one and was like really like upset by it.
Right.
And a lot of people, probably a lot more guys, like think, it means that you're not straight if you're sticking something up your butt, which I highly disagree with. Who cares? Whatever gets you off. Well, to an extent, as long as it's legal and both parties or whatever are willing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I helped him. I used one of my dildos in his butt, and he really enjoyed it. And he was also very, very good in bed. He was like 33, I want to say. And I was like, how like did you get so good in bed? Especially when your wife, like you and your wife did not have kinky stuff going on.
Right.
I don't know. Apparently he had like a friends with benefits before his wife that he got good at sex somehow. And I was like, please thank her.
Good at sex.
Please thank her for me. Because he was very, very good.
Okay, so before we go, I know you have one super juicy story that involves a couple.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to save that for episode 2. Okay, guys, make sure you subscribe. We'll get Svetlana's story about a couple that she met on Bumble.
Tinder.
Tinder's
where it's at.
Tinder.
For hookups.